Update 2. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom that I will respect my dad's girlfriend more than my stepdad? This is part 2 of the story. You can watch the first part by clicking the card above or the link in the description. Second update. I know my post has been viral on Best of Reddit updates. The reposter asked for my permission for it, and I want to thank her, because she, along with many others, have defended my father from people who lack brain cells, in my opinion. I was really disappointed in the people who are calling my dad a deadbeat. Some even said that he mistreated my mom, that he has always been an alcoholic, that he was a gambler and a serial cheater. Some even said that my dad should never have custody of me because he was a screw-up. You guys seriously make me question humanity. Here is a guy who sacrificed everything for his daughter, put his own life on hold so that I do not have to feel uncomfortable. And all you guys have is nothing but criticism for him? Shame on you guys for berating someone who had already been through enough. I choose to forgive my dad because he acknowledged his mistakes. Also, he wasn't even that big of an alcoholic. He never had any drinking problem prior to the affair of my mom. Usually, he used to drink in silence, and never in front of me. That was the only freaking time he let himself go. Can't you guys just look past it? Or are you guys so petty that you are turning a blind eye on his sacrifices? And no, my dad is not a crappy dad at all. I guess you cannot please everyone. People are just going to draw their own conclusion. Also, please don't insult my intelligence by saying I don't know what happened. Over the last 7 years, I've been driving myself crazy over it. I asked my mom why she did it. I even asked if my dad was a bad husband or abusive, and she denied both of those claims. Also, recently I went through the same tragedy as my dad. I found out that my boyfriend of 2 years was cheating on me with my friend. I understand my dad more now that I am literally walking in his shoes. I'm really devastated. I still cry a lot because of the betrayal I felt from those 2 people. My dad has tried everything to cheer me up, and I am not in contact with my mom. And I just opened Reddit to keep my mind out of the complications in my life, but looking at how people are literally dragging my dad through the mud just made me angry. Now for the comments before reading the last update. There are always trolls in here, OP. I feel both you and your dad have done a very good job at turning the difficult corners of your life. It is commendable he only turned to despair for 1 year. He is only human. Ignore those who called him deadbeat, / alcoholic, etc. As you know and we know it's not the truth. When the trolls hit the same betrayal, then they will feel it too. Actually, for your dad to pull himself up from alcohol in such a short time is also commendable. You are right to be proud of him. Try to pick selective reading. Read only the good ones and ignore the disturbing ones. Now, I hope to hear good news about your dad, his girlfriend, and you, okay? Take care. My dad is sad because I am sad. We are supposed to go to Disneyland next week. Now I'm not excited anymore. I've always wanted to go there. And my dad promised on my 9th birthday that he would take me. That didn't happen, as you know why. Finally, he wanted to take me there after saving some money. But I don't think I will be able to enjoy it now. I can't even ask him to cancel it because he planned this trip for us for the last 2 years. He is still with his girlfriend. She did visit me yesterday and we talked. As for my mom, I am not talking to her now. It is just too much to handle all at once. Just go no contact with your mother, as she will cause you more sadness. If you were to ask my advice, for now just get a part-time job. Go to the gym, jogging, and find some hobby, as you are suffering because of your mother and your ex-boyfriend and ex-friend. You need to go out and find something. Just be happy. Well, I'm trying. My dad planned to take me to Disneyland next week, but I don't think I can enjoy it. Part of me wants to tell my dad to cancel it, but then again he would lose a lot of money. I always wanted to go there, but now I just can't get excited. OP, you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders. Please do not take any haters of your dad seriously. Ignore the trolls. The haters do not know what you and your dad went through, do not know your day-to-day activities, and may be projecting too much. Keep being strong, proud of you, and wishing you the best going forward. Also, wear your sunscreen. The last one made me laugh. Thanks. I will. Now for the last update. A lot of you have messaged me and asked to keep you guys updated. So, before I update, I want to thank those of you who have come to show support for me and my dad. I have read or tried to read your messages and comments, And honestly, those positive messages really got to me. I was not upset by the trolls. Also, I had beef with few of them too, but if I ever said something bad, then please forgive me. I'm still a little sad. Anyways, back to the update. Well, from my last post, you guys can see that I have in fact been cheated on. It is funny because in my first post, I mentioned that the last time I had a fight with my stepdad, I told him I hope his son gets cheated on, so he knows how that feels. And now here I am losing my boyfriend and my friend because they stabbed me in the back. I guess it is karma. The breakup is still fresh in my mind. I still cry sometimes thinking about it, but I am glad I have my other friends, and obviously my dad with me, so I can hope I will be fine. And yes, I did end up going to Disneyland with my dad, and we had a lot of fun. But my dad ended up becoming sick after we came back for a little while. He is better now. I guess he had some bad food on the trip. Otherwise, he is fine. I finally spoke to my mom. She came to visit me at my dad's house. My dad rarely sees her, so he was also shocked to see her. She looked a bit out of place, as if she was entering Narnia. She wanted to talk to me and my dad. Dad went inside his room to give us some privacy to talk. Then we sat down. She apologized to me for acting so irrationally and never taking my feelings into account. I don't know what happened, but I asked her if she ever felt any guilt for cheating on my dad. She cried and said that she has always been guilty of how things ended between my dad and her. She didn't go much into details, but at the same time, my dad and her were having some marriage problems. She and dad wanted to work things out, but she was still feeling empty. Then, my stepdad came and she found an escape from her life with him. She said she was selfish. She wanted to have it all, but she knew someday her lies will be caught, and it did. She mentioned that she and dad have grown distant because of the affair. She does regret and wishes she could have handled it better. She has spent 7 years or more with my stepdad, but deep down she still had feelings for my dad. Some days she even wakes up and guilt washes over her. She regrets ever starting the affair. The problem was not my dad nor my stepdad. The problem was her, and she knows she has messed up a lot. I also opened up to her about my struggles in life, how I had to deal with the downfall of their marriage, and how it has affected me over the last few years. I wish she had just ended things in a good way, rather than introducing a man that has become the bane of my existence. I wish he hadn't pushed me to accept him, knowing the pain it cost both me and my dad, and he doesn't even seem to feel any remorse. She cried heavily this time and said she knows now how wrong it was, but she thought that if I accepted my stepdad, then the affair wouldn't look so bad on her. I wanted to tell her that she was stupid, and that's not how it works. I then asked her why she was so obsessed with Layla, my dad's girlfriend, and she told me that ever since their divorce, there has always been a little spark of hope that someday her and dad would be together. She knows it is foolish for her to think that, but her subconscious mind was telling her that she and dad are the endgame. But learning that he has moved on and started dating just freaked her out. I told her that is BS, because she was the one who married her affair partner and went on to have a family with him. It is so disgusting and immoral for her to even think that, especially after she was the one who cheated and left. If she still thinks that she has a chance with dad, then she is either delusional or simply stupid. She doesn't get to dictate how others feel and doesn't get to control what I feel. She says she understands and has been a mess for a long time. She opens up about her own marital situation, which is not good at the moment. I also shared my story of being cheated on. She tried to hug me and said it will be okay, but it just made me angry. I told her I don't need her sympathy now, especially in matters of cheating. I do love her as a mother. I am grateful that she has cared for me and especially being honest with me about the situation. But I do not want to talk to her now. I want to go low contact until she sorts things that are messed up with her. She needs therapy, and she only should focus on my half-brother. After our conversation ended, my mom and dad talked in his room. I didn't try to eavesdrop or tried to listen, so I do not know what they talked about. But after coming out of the room, my mom looked very defeated. After that, we talked a little and she bid us goodbye. I did tell her that I want her in my graduation and other big events, but I want to have some boundaries when it comes to my stepdad. So that closes the mom chapter for a while. And yes, my dad knows about my mom's meltdown, and that's why I wanted to talk to her in private. I don't think this issue is solved here. I honestly laughed a little, because my dad and mom has not been in contact for a long time, and he should know. On the bright side, I did get to meet Layla's kids. Ever since my dad became sick, She has been coming frequently to cook or clean. Sometimes she would bring her kids, and I do enjoy playing with them. I always wish to have siblings, and now I have 3. Hopefully this will be my last update. I honestly thank anyone who has given me some good advice and comments. I hope you guys have a lovely life, and thank you so much for the support. Good on your mom for finally looking at this from another perspective and accepting and apologizing for your experience rather than focusing solely on her own. I think going low contact with her makes sense though. Just because she's finally apologized and seems to realize the magnitude of what she did doesn't mean you have to forgive her. And she doesn't seem ready for a real relationship if she's still holding out hope for something to happen with your dad. Best wishes, OP. I don't want her to only focus on me because she has bigger problems in her own marriage now. I'm fine. I have people here, so I shouldn't be her first priority now. That is a great attitude, but also please don't worry about being a little selfish. You're not an adult yet, and a parent's responsibility and focus should always be their kids to a certain extent. If you need her, don't avoid contacting her because you want to give her the space to focus on her struggling marriage. Wow, yeah, the mother is at least a bit delusional here, but it seems she's been forced to see reality now. Hope things get better for her going forwards, but it's a hole she dug herself into, and now she has to climb back out of. You don't get to do that kind of thing without consequences. You would think all those years of her daughter hating her would have made her see reality. Only her jealousy over her ex-husband made her see reality. At least she finally admitted it. This is the worst part to me. Her daughter's pain and hatred didn't matter to her, only that she lost her delusion of being able to go back to the relationship she destroyed when her ex started dating. That poor man scraped the bottom of the barrel when he found this lady. I'm honestly displeased that she felt the need to defend her father more than once. Those a-holes aren't worth her attention. In her second last post, she was referring to the original post in BORU. I did see people saying her dad must have been having gambling problem, or maybe he also cheated or he always had drinking problem. I saw a lot of them dogpiling in Opie's dad. The comments were ridiculous. People blaming his drinking even after Opie clarified multiple times that only started after the affair/divorce. Some people just want to stay on their bandwagon. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's wife that +1s don't get accommodations? I'm 27 female and my husband welcomed our daughter 7 months ago. I do not live in the same country as my divorced parents, so they both separately came to meet the baby when she was born. My dad met her when she was a month old and hasn't been able to make it back since, so we planned a visit for later in the month and asked if he could bring his wife Anna, which I said was okay. Over the past week, Anna has been asking for an increased number of changes to the plans we've made for the week. She wants to go to different places, different restaurants. She even tried to change the dates to be more convenient for her. I was getting a bit fed up of this and told my dad numerous times that I'd planned things with him, myself, and my daughter in mind. So I didn't really appreciate Anna thinking she could mix and match what she wanted to do. My dad said he understood, but that still didn't stop him texting me with her requests, all of which I declined. Yesterday, she texted me directly asking if we could plan a day trip to a town an hour and 15 minutes away because she'd always wanted to go there. I told her I'm absolutely not going on a 4-hour round trip to a town I've been to 400 times with an infant, and if she wants to go, she must organize that in her own time. She responded that this trip was her own time, to which I said she is welcome to hire a car and drive there at any time she wants, but I will not be going. She said it wasn't fair that I hadn't acquiesced to any of her requests, at which point I got irritated and told her that +1s don't get to make the schedule, and that if she didn't like the itinerary, she shouldn't feel pressured to come. My dad blew up on me for saying this, saying I should have just asked him to handle it, and now I've upset her by insinuating that she wasn't welcome, which I don't think I did. I told my dad I'm not fussed whether she comes or not, but she is tagging along on this trip to see his granddaughter, and she needs to be respectful of that. He said that is not how she saw it, that she saw it as more of a communal holiday, and that I was harsh for what I said, and an a-hole for sticking him in the middle. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Let's break it down. 1. You are a new mom, recovering from a birth still, and you and your husband have a 7-month-old infant. 2. Your dad's wife is making weird and reasonable extra travel demands and pretending the trip to bond with your baby is her own personal holiday. 3. Your own dad won't even stand up for you and is mad you somehow put him in the middle? He is putting you in the middle by not standing up for you. Just know, enjoy your new little family, though I truly hope your dad comes around. I feel like your title is a bit misleading actually, and leaning toward your dad's wife's side. The real problem seems to be that she is trying to turn bonding time into her personal holiday. To be fair to him, he did tell her no to her previous requests when I said I wasn't happy. I think he wanted me to keep funneling communication through him so that he could manage her better. Honestly, this sounds like it's your dad's fault. He should have stopped funneling her requests to you when you made it clear you weren't interested in them, and talk to his wife about making their own touristy plans together or whatever in their free time in your country. Since I assume you didn't have your dad's schedule planned down to every minute, there's nothing stopping him and Anna from doing stuff. Anna shouldn't have texted you directly. She is tagging along on this trip to see his granddaughter, and she needs to be respectful of that. He said that is not how she saw it, that she saw it as more of a communal holiday, and that I was harsh for what I said and an a-hole for sticking him in the middle. However, Anna's viewing the trip is your dad's fault. He is the one who has communicated about this trip with her and invited her, so her perception of the trip is his fault. It's not yours and it's not necessarily hers. Your dad needs to compromise here with both parties, you and Anna, because if he wants to bring Anna on this trip, it sounds like he and Anna occasionally will need time to do their own thing, which is totally valid when you're traveling to a different country and want to do some different stuff. And with a 7-month-old, there will be a plenty of downtime. He and Anna need to work this out without involving you. I agree. I probably do need to talk to him about that. But also, if she views this as her own holiday, I don't understand why she keeps making suggestions that I need to be involved in. If you have a restaurant you want to go with my dad, go. If it's your trip, I don't have to.